back to another episode of the Canadian Watch Monkey, and today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a Lume War here. So I've got a bunch of watches here, a fair amount of my collection, not all though, and I just was kind of curious to see which ones have the best lume. Now there's going to be two obvious winners here, and you'll know why in a moment, but here I'm just going to go over some of these watches and you'll see how they make out. So here we have a kind of a neo-vintage Zenith El Primero Rainbow. Here we have a Squale 50 Atmos. Here is a Seiko SKX, so that's a vintage watch. The Nomos Club, the Stoa Flieger 40 Classic. Here we have a Marathon running tritium tubes, and that's the general purpose. This is the automatic one. By the way, these watches I'll have them wound up and when I do the testing. Here we have the Oris 1917, Christopher Ward Sandhurst, Tudor Black Bay 58, Oris Aquis. Here we have the Radomir Panerai 380. Here's a Marathon watch again. This one is the Doxa Sub 200. Here we have a Laco, and here we have a CWC. So these are the watches that I'm going to do it's going to be about a 4 or 5 hour test. So I'm just going to put it on time lapse and we'll see which ones do the best. Now, if you know anything about tritium, then you know that they're pretty much unbeatable, but it'll be interesting for you guys that have never experienced a tritium watch to see what the difference is. All right. So in a moment, I'm going to turn the lights off and we'll do a time lapse and see which of these watches fare better than the others. All right, so here we go. All right, let's talk about what happened. So obviously the top lume watches were the two Marathon watches using tritium. These will stay lit for 15 years. So you're not going to beat these guys. So if you're looking for nighttime lume, tritium is the way to go. You can see initially they weren't maybe the brightest, but definitely the staying power is incredible with these. Now the other watches that did very well was the Tudor Black Bay 58. That was one of the last to give up. So big thumbs up to that. I would say the one that did the best was the Panerai 380 Radomir. That lume lasted a long time. Now this one here is called the sausage dial because the print is actually, the indices in that, the numbers are printed on the dial rather than a sandwich dial. If you don't know what that is, you can look it up. So sausage versus sandwich for the Panerai lume. So this did very good. Another surprise was the Seiko SKX. Now this watch is about 20 years old, and the lume is still great on this. So that was a real pleasant surprise. The others did okay. Doxa really didn't fare well. The Oris did pretty good. That's and Aquis is kind of known for that, so you won't be disappointed with that. The field watches did not do great. The Squale did okay, and yeah, the field watches were not bad. If you watch the video though, these two started out very strong, but they just don't have the staying power like the Panerai and the Black Bay 58. But anyway, I'd like to hear what your comments and thoughts are of that lume testing that I did. And what do you think? Are you thinking about getting a tritium watch? If you are, Marathon is a great way to go. They're a Canadian company. that's a legitimate supplier to the American and Canadian forces. CWC is another true military watch, but that's for the British military. Their lume is very good as well, but again, they're not using tritium. But anyway, you guys, I thought you'd find that interesting. At least I hope you did. If you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe. And see you on the next video. Take care, guys.